Hi, I'm Lily. I'm gonna teach you the basics on playing a guitar, and I'm gonna teach you how to learn a song. So, first things first, I have a PowerPoint that I'm reading off of here. This is for my BTEC component 2 learning aim A exam thing. Um, yeah. So, yeah. I'm nervous. Let's start. So, when playing your guitar, there's certain pieces of equipment that you need. Well, you don't need them, but you can use them to help you play. So I'm gonna go through what they are. You have this thing right here. This is called a plectrum or a guitar pick. You can get them in like different colors or thicknesses. Um, and you can use these to help get like a better sound from your guitar. They come in different thicknesses as well, which I've said. And basically, like you can find a thickness that you adapt to most with your playing. For example, I have a brown one downstairs that I used to play the most. I'm not sure what thickness it is, but I just feel comfortable with that one. The second thing is an auto tuner, which is this thing right here. It clips onto the top of your guitar like this. And you turn it on and it listens to you when you play a string, and it tells you if you need to go higher or lower. So if I pluck this one here, it says that I need to tune that string higher, I believe. I don't know. So the next thing, well, the final thing really, is the capo, which is this thing right here. Basically, what the capos do is they clip onto these on your guitar, like these little sections, which are called frets, and they just clip on like that, and they give you a different sound, pretty much. So they can help you vary your songs that you play. So, and it like varies the sound thing and the pitch. Um, so the next subjects I have up, if my presentation's going to load, is time management and practice. So, an effective way to fit practice into your day is to maybe set around 10 to 30 minutes every couple of days, like 1 to 2 days, um, to work on certain areas that you need to work on in guitar. This can work in other instruments as well, such as piano or maybe even singing. Um, so yeah, like every couple of days, or if I find like a slot of free time, I'll go on it and I'll practice like a song that I need to pick up on, or I'll learn a new song, or I'll go over a set of chords that I've learned in the past, whether it be for an exam or just my own leisure. I don't perform professionally, and I don't intend to because social anxiety. But so a good way to figure out like which songs you need to focus on is to create a list of the ones you know in order of the ones that you know best and the ones that you need working on. So you start with the ones that you need to work on, and you eventually work your way up the list to the ones that you know best. So personally for me, I'd put a song like Lovely by Billie Eilish as one that I need to work on. However, I'd put like Your New Boyfriend by Will Besoot as one that I don't, because I know that one pretty well. Um, so another good idea is that if you're learning a new song or you've just learned one recently, set aside extra time to work on it more. So currently, I am in the process of learning Yellow by Coldplay. So I do set aside extra time when I've done practicing to just work on that one. So to practice transitioning from one chord to another, you can find a pair of chords that sit very close together on the guitar, such as an A minor chord up here and an E minor chord, which is this one. You literally just have to move the fingers over one. They're very easy to transition from. Or you could go from a C, which is this one, into a C minor. So C, and then C minor. If you want a way to warm up your hands before you do performing or whatever, a good method is to take 2 bouncy balls. I don't have 2 bouncy balls, so I'm just using like 2 balls of blue tack that I've literally just pulled apart. And just play about with them in your hand, you know, like swizzle them around, you know, just like get your hands used to that movement sort of thing. Or you could like pluck about with the strings maybe. Another good thing to do is to play guitar with warmer hands, to make it easier to play. You should also make sure that you shake your hands before you play, just so you know you get that blood circulation going. A good thing to note is that guitars are very like sensitive to temperature. I apologise for the yelling. Guitars are very sensitive to temperature, so they do work better if if it's in a warmer environment. For example, last January I tried to go out and play guitar while it was 2 degrees outside with a friend. My hands were absolutely freezing cold and I could barely pluck a string. I made very many mistakes. And that friend now permanently has the image of me being a very bad guitar player, despite my efforts since then. Also, if your guitar strings are colder, I know this more with like metal string guitars more than nylon. This one's nylon. They do snap easier with like cold weather and stuff. So that's a very important thing that you should know, just so you know it avoids any potential injury or harm to yourself through string snapping, and it just saves money. So yeah, we love that. Yes, strings do hurt if they ping against you. It feels very similar to that of an elastic band. So moving on to the section about strings and tuning, the first thing you need to establish when playing the guitar is which way round you're going to need to go. The longer end of the guitar, which is this end, should be played with the hand that you don't write with. So that's my left hand for me. And you should be strumming or plucking the strings with the hand that you do write with, which is my right hand. So for me, I hold the guitar like this. So it is important that you get your palm on the back of the guitar and have your 4 fingers round like that and your thumb over the end. I don't strum with my fingers because I don't like doing it, but you can do that if that's what you find more effective. If you're left-handed, then you'll obviously hold it the other way with your long end in your right arm and your left hand strumming. It is important to note that this big thick string at the top, which is the low E, is facing towards you, and you have the higher E, which is this little thin one on the bottom, facing downwards. So with acoustic guitars, you will find there's 2 E strings, the low E and the high E, which place at both ends of the strings. So on my presentation, I've got the lower E, which is this one here, which needs tuning, and the higher E, which is this one here. And I've got them marked. I've got lower E in lime and I've got higher E in a dark blue. All of the strings on my PowerPoint are color-coded. So the order of strings that they should go in is C, low E, A, D, G, B, high E. So there's a rhyme that I use to help myself remember this when I'm tuning my guitar, and that is Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. So you have Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie, like that. I don't know, whatever works for you, but that's the way I find it most effective. So to get your guitar into that tune, you use these knobs on the top. They basically make the string give off a higher or lower sound, and they can help it get into tune. If you can't do it by ear, there is apps that you can use to help you on your phone. However, I like to use my auto tuner. Some guitars have one built in, other times you need to buy them on Amazon. They're only like £5. So for my E, it says that I need to go higher, so I'm just gonna get that one in tune. Okay, right. Low E is in tune. A needs to go a bit higher. This guitar goes out of tune on its own, and I should have really prepared for this. I apologise. I'm trying to get A into tune, but it doesn't tune very well. I do have another guitar, but it's missing strings. D just needs to go up a bit. There we go. G needs to go up on again. B needs to be higher. A bit lower. I apologise. And then high E just needs to go a bit higher. If there's any that are out of tune, it's those last three for me. Because this one, as I said, goes out of tune very, very easily. So, as you should see now, this is how it should sound. E, A, D, G, B, E. And that's it in tune. Yeah, so you can use one of these to help with that. The good thing about these is about the auto-tuners, is they don't just tune into those chords. You could, like, take your E down to a C, you could take it to a D, you could tune this E to a D, whatever you need to do. I use a guitar app called Tabs. It tabs your chords for you, and it tells you like what capo you need to go on, and it also tells you like what tune you need to be in. It's a very good app if you just want to like learn on your own, because I feel it enables you to be a bit more independent. So frets and chords are the next thing we're going to learn about. I just need to get rid of this out the corner of my screen so I can see one of the chords I've got marked. I think it's a C chord. Yes, it's a C chord. Okay, so as I've said in the video already, the frets are these sections that you have on the longer part of your guitar. They are what you put your capo on to play your songs and what have you. And they also like mark out where your chords should, be played. Chords are where more than one string is played at a time. So, for example, let's play an E minor. So, therefore, I'm holding down A on the second fret and D on the second fret, and then just strumming down, and that's how you make that one. So I'm going to also give you an example of how to play a C chord, which is this. So on the first fret, we have a finger on B, I believe that is, yes. And then you have another finger on the second fret of D, and another finger on the third fret of A. Take off the finger on the first fret, C minor, C, C minor. Okay, right, moving on. When you're learning chords, it is a good idea to number your fingers. So the way I've been taught to do it, which is the way that pretty much everybody uses, is you have your index finger as number 1, your middle finger is number 2. I'm going to do it this way so I don't seem like I'm being rude. Your ring finger is 3, your pinky finger is 4, and your thumb is 5. Your thumb and your pinky you don't really use, especially your thumb. So going back to the C chord, you put finger 1 on the first fret of B, finger 2 on the second fret of D, and finger 3 on the third fret of A. You don't have to do it in that order, that's just the order that's easiest, but just do what you find comfortable. You may want to change the order around, say like if you're switching between chords really quickly. In case you're wondering, when you're doing tabs or reading chords off of a tab, there will be numbered dots, and those numbered dots represent which finger is put on which fret and where. So if you look on my PowerPoint, there is many examples of chords, and you can see where the numbers are is where you put which number fingers that correlates to where that number is. If you also look on tabs, well, like guitar chord tabs, you will see there's X's over certain strings. They're strings that you need to try not to play. They don't go over like strings that you need to press down to play a chord. They go over strings that you don't need to press down to play. So it says for a C chord that you shouldn't be strumming the low E. However, most of the time it doesn't really affect the sound. So this is with low E, and that's without. There's not much difference, I don't think. Other people may think otherwise. So again, with that C chord, you can move about to change chords very quickly. So if you take your finger number 2 on the second fret of D and move that to the second fret of G, and your finger number 3 from the third fret of A to the third fret of D, you get what's called an F major 7. That can be heard in Billie Eilish's song Lovely throughout the song. Give me a second. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to the chords part. So, as I've said, chords are multiple strings held down and strummed to create a sound. They can be played in many keys. It can be a struggle to move from one chord to another quick enough, but practice is the only thing that I can suggest with that. Again, with like A minor and E that I taught you at the start. So in order to play an A minor, you put finger number 1 on the first fret of B, finger number 2 on the second fret of D, and finger number 3 on the second fret of G, and then you move it over. So the finger on the first fret is finger number 1 on the first fret of G, finger number 2 on the 2nd fret of A, and finger number 3 on the 2nd fret of D, like that. Just move between the two. Okay, so the song that I'm going to teach you today is Bruno Mars's song Just the Way You Are. So the chords that you're going to need for this one is a D, a B minor 7, and a G. So to play a D, you take finger number 1 on the 2nd fret of G, finger number 2 on the 2nd fret of high E, and finger number 3 on the 3rd fret of B. It says try not to play these first 2 up here. Okay, and then to play a B major 7, or B minor 7 I should say, sorry, you take finger number 1, this is played all on the 2nd fret, finger number 1, 2nd fret of A, finger number 2, 2nd fret of G, and number 3 on the 2nd fret of high E. And then to play a G, keep that finger number 1 where it is on the 2nd fret of A. Finger number 2 goes on the 3rd fret of low E, and number 3 on the 3rd fret of high E. Now, I believe there is a capo involved in this song on the 3rd or 2nd fret. Let's try 3rd. Yeah. You and be quiet, I'm doing an exam. I apologise. Anyway, so you have to excuse any background noises. I apologise sincerely. But he won't listen when I tell him to shut up, so I'm not going to waste my breath. And I also apologise for my atrocious singing. So, just to refresh your memory, it goes D, B minor 7, A, back to D, repeat D, B minor 7, G, D. I'm not going to bother getting any lyrics up because that's just going to fail.
Right, who's getting in next?
Mom, be quiet, I'm doing an exam.
I beg your pardon?
I'm doing an exam. Be quiet.
Say that again.
I'm doing an exam.
Well, not psychic, Lily. Sign on your door.
Jesus Christ. I apologise. Oh my gosh, now I'm embarrassed. Okay, right. We're gonna just have to work through this. I can try and get some lyrics up, but I'm gonna be here for about another decade. I've got nothing left on my PowerPoint to go through, so yeah, I can give it a go. I've got how many minutes? Like 8 minutes left that I can record before my space on my phone is just like, haha, no. Fail. Yeah, it's not responding. So I'm just going to teach you the chorus, but it is the same chord pattern throughout the song. So, G, that was atrocious. G, B minor 7, G, D. Oh my gosh, we're actually getting somewhere today. Oh. I don't know the first thing about singing or warm-ups, so, you know, I'm just going to wing it. If I damage my voice, I damage my voice. It's not going to get used again. My laptop's from 2011, you'll have to bear with me, I'm afraid. Of course you choose to buffer, stupid thing. I'm so sorry. This is going so bad. And I don't want to go through it again. You know what? I'll just teach the chorus. There's not going to be any background music because I'm not trying to get copyrighted today. I can't afford that. Am I nervous? Yes. Am I scared? Yes. Am I probably going to sound horrible? Yes. Anyway, ciao. Right, let's just go. So I'm going to do an introduction of the chords before I go through the song, so. Ugh. That's that. Thank you, I guess. I know, miss, I said I was going to do a different song, but I changed my mind last minute. Also, I'm sorry for everything that has gone wrong in this video, including the background noises. I can only apologise for that. I'm for screaming at my mother. It'll never happen again. I'm an innocent child. Yeah, bye. Yeah.